This is the LaFontaine Automotive Group 6 Sports Desk.
When it comes to the Champions Classic, there are 3 things Tom Izzo will tell you right away that he likes about it. Number 1, he thinks it's good for college basketball. Number 2, it's good for MSU's program. And 3, it's good for his players. All information he wanted to put out there today before he and his number 1 ranked Spartans departed for the Big Apple to face number 2 Kentucky. This annual tourney brings out all the glitz and glam college basketball has to offer. Great venues, storied programs, and coaches competing against each other. And you'll find many famous alums in the stands. But what do these games really mean, especially with them being so early in the year? If you remember, Michigan State lost to number 1 Kansas 92-87 last year, while Duke topped Kentucky, and out of the 4, MSU was the only team to make it to the Final Four. What kind of perspective does that give Izzo, knowing that a game like this doesn't necessarily make or break a team's season?
I think we all have perspective, all the coaches. You know, last year, Kentucky got to the Elite Eight and really should have beat Auburn, in my opinion. I'm not looking at it as a win makes you a Final Four team or a loss makes you, a 6th place in the league team. It gives you a good barometer where you are. It gives you something to play for. And what I'm most worried about with my team, now that we got a little younger here in the last couple of weeks, is are we going to get better every day? And that's what's really going to determine our season.
With that being said, how do you think Kentucky's John Calipari and his Cats are feeling about this date? He did say that he wished this game wasn't the first game of the year. He'd like for his team to have a couple of more games underneath their belt, but that's not how the schedule works. And here's one thing that concerns him.
Just watching the tape, it's the same deal. I mean, they're going to play. You're not beating them just by saying, well, we're going to take their lunch money. You're not. And they're not going to beat themselves. You're going to have to play a heck of a game to have a chance to win just because of how they play, how they defend, how tough they are, all the stuff that, we try to teach these young guys, and it just takes us a lot of time to do it.
Our college hoops tour continues now with Michigan, and in less than 24 hours, the Juwan Howard era, as in his coaching era, will begin when the Wolverines host Appalachian State, which means it's only right for it to be Juwan Howard bobblehead night. The first 3,500 fans will be able to hold him in the palm of their hands. The Wolverines rolled in their exhibition game, topping Saginaw Valley State 82-51, but one area they hope to do a bit better in is shooting. They attempted 31 threes and only made 9. Not great. That's 29% from three-point range. So when Howard met with the media today to preview tomorrow's opener, he was asked about this, and he said he wants his guys to take the open shot, whether it's a 2 or 3. He knows as time goes on, they'll get better at reading the game, and he feels they've already learned a bit from watching film.
Film is some of the best teaching when it comes to basketball. Some guys are visual learners. Some guys have high IQs, and those who are visual learners, we have film that's available to see, because sometimes you're out there, you're competing, and your adrenaline is flowing, and the crowd is out there, and you have the lights on. I always call it, when the lights is on, the popcorn is popping. Sometimes we have to take a deep breath, exhale, and now just allow the game to flow and let it come to you.
The popcorn will be popping tomorrow. All right, well, how do you think the Detroit Pistons did tonight on the road in Washington, D.C. to face the Wizards? I'll give you one clue. They played a game all right, a game of catch-up all night long. A lot of it had to do with the play of Wizards star Bradley Beal. Second quarter, he's just out on an island all alone, and he drops the three of his 20 on the night, and it helped Washington jump out to a 17-point lead. Detroit did close the gap before the half. Christian Wood with the one-handed slam to help the Pistons go on a 24-9 run. And they were only down by 2 at the half, but the Wizards would yet again pull away in the third quarter, and the Pistons, they could not bounce back a second time. 115-99 the final. In case you haven't heard, the MSU women's cross country team raced to its 7th Big Ten championship in the program's history yesterday in Ohio, after 5 of its runners placed in the top 16. A feat certainly worth celebrating, which is why Walt Drenth and the Big Ten champs received this warm welcome back to East Lansing last night. This is actually the Spartans' 5th Big Ten title of the decade. Michigan has won 4, while Penn State has won 1. And Drenth made a point to throw that stat out there today, as he should, but not not because of the rivalry with the Wolverines.
I don't know how people are wired. I'm wired strangely, so I don't care any less for them than I do anybody else we compete against. I just want to beat everyone. So when we go to the course, I mean, of course, there's a natural rivalry. A lot of our athletes are from Michigan, and they were recruited by both schools, and so there's certainly an interest on their part in trying to win, trying to beat them. But we didn't set out with them in mind. We set out with a championship.
And that they were able to win. All right, that will do it for sports. We'll be back after the break.